So in like earlier, we saw that there are some standard tables used by the system, which are mainly talking with PG, correct? PG underscore something, like for example, PG class, PG tables, PG constraint, PG proc, PG type, and so on. Similarly, there's a table called as PG underscore locks. Okay, this table holds data about locks, correct? Lock type, database. So whenever you fire, you will by default see two entries there. So when you write this query, so you should see two entries there. So if I minimize this, then these are the only two entries that you generally see. So lock type first is relation, second is virtual XID. Okay, now this is 16385. This is database. This is relation ID 12290. Then page tuple, it shows few other things. Similarly, it shows us PID. Okay, and the mode. Now think of this like okay, let us say now Amazon is having its own sale. So though they may have their own NoSQL at their backend, but let us take an example. Suppose you are saying that there are some products which are available in that sale. Correct. Now you do see like when you select a particular item and you add it into cart, you must have seen that for some amount of time it is available. After that amount of time, you would be removed from that queue. Have you seen that on Amazon? Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you're generally sale is they do apply that kind of strategy. Like there is a trending product which is like this many available. Their percent also comes. So we're not sure whether they really are using their transaction system or not. But let us imagine this. Now, how exactly we can allocate that to the particular person? Now, for a while, suppose I'm speaking right now. Correct. So I'm having complete hold of the system. Now you may say you also can start talking by unmuting yourself. But can I mute all of you directly without permitting at all either of you to unmute you yourself? That can be done definitely through the settings available. So let me show you how exactly it works. So let us go here. Correct. Okay. Teams. So when I click this, okay, it shows me this one, and then I use meeting options. Okay, so let it open in a browser. So it will automatically open in browser. And through the browser, I would be having some kind of settings in my control. Okay, which generally can be set up by me. Sometimes you might have seen anybody can start recording, correct? Anybody can stop recording. So that control can be with the teacher himself or herself. That setting can be done definitely. Now to do that kind of setting, you definitely have to go to meeting options. Okay, so let it open. Now you will see who can bypass the lobby. So generally I do say like everyone. Now suppose you are not using the ID that is given to you by CCP platform. Then ultimately you would be treated as guest. Correct. So if I set these people in my organization, then the person would not be permitted to log in directly. So generally I do set it as everyone. Then you can see allow camera for attendees. I do have it S. Allow reaction. I do have S. Allow mic for attendees. I do have S. So if I switch off all of them. Okay. And let me save this. Okay. Now when I save it, now try from your end now. So can you unmute yourself?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if I say allow mic for attendees, now it is not the setting is not done right now. The reason behind the meeting already started. Correct. So it is not possible for it to make appropriate changes at that time. But I can definitely control such kind of setting from one point. Correct. On the same line. On the same line. Let us go to the meeting. Yeah. On the same line, like let me see this. Whichever the process which is applying this control. Now in this case, we are executing this from this terminal. Correct. This is terminal number 1. So I have a terminal number 2 too. OK. So if I really see PS dash EJ capital H. EJ capital H pipe grep Postgres. Correct. Now you can you see this PID for this server 34568 for this Postgres. Similarly, if I try to see PSQL. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now let me talk about bash. Now there are 2 bash running. Now the data that we saw here. Now let us see that PID. What is this number? These are the 2 numbers that it is having. This is a relation. This is database. Correct. At the same time, if you see, rather, let me maximize this. OK, so let me write select PID, comma log type from PG underscore logs. Can you see 3, 4, 5, 6, 8? Where do you see that 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 now? On the right side. Can you see that? 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Where it is? With this Postgres. So this copy was created. This copy was created for that connection. What is the connection which was permitting us to connect to Postgres server? And that's what we did here. We said PSQL and then we started with. Am I right? Now, if it is going to be like that, so what happens if I try to open another terminal? So if I say PSQL now. Correct. Now there are 2 clients. This is first. This is second. So let us fire this again. Grep Postgres. Can you see 36014? Correct. It is for now this request. So if I write here select PID comma lock type from PG docs. Now see this number. What is that number? 36014. Can you see this? It stores information about which PID is requesting the access. Now in this case, our assumption is we are executing these queries from one particular machine only. Now my machine is acting as a server. My machine is acting as a client. So these are the 2 clients that are running here. This is first, this is second. This is first, this is second. Correct. So if they are 2, then ultimately for every client there would be a request generated or copy of a server generated. And its information whenever a query is fired, one query at a time would be preserved here. Right now, every instruction is acting as one transaction. And that's why it is auto committed on Postgres. So on Oracle, you must have seen that whenever you are like at least whatever I used till 2000, I remember it 2013. I used to make use of Oracle to teach at bioinformatics department. So at that time, we always have to commit it. Commit that the queries, whatever the queries that you are like when we started session like this by starting this PSQL. I started my session. So whenever I am done, I always used to write commit. If I don't write it, then if I again start it, it never used to save with that. That used to happen with the Oracle version that they had earlier. But now if you see Postgres perspective, in Postgres, it is by default active every time. Okay, the what you can call it as the auto commit flag. Fine, auto commit flag is always on. So let me switch on this so that like if not possible for you, you can make use of. 1 minute. Yeah, so they are saved. And I do make this change. Okay, fine. So let us go back here. So what happens then if I start the transaction? So let us see this. So we have this one terminal and we'll be using this another terminal. So I will keep that terminal here. Fine. And I will try to control this like this so that you definitely can see. So let me write here begin. Fine. So begin is a transaction starting block. So if at all you have to start a transaction block, then you have to write begin. So let me fire this now. How many entries are there? How many entries are there? 3. Earlier only 2 were there. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. This was for this original terminal where we are executing this. The PID of it given for Postgres is this one. But the command that we fired here begin to start the transaction block. It is from this copy, this PID. Okay, so let me fire here, say for example, simple command, select customer ID from customer. Now you may say we fired one query, correct? Now is it going to get impacted here? So let me maximize this. Log type database relation. So we'll take log type database relation and PID. Fine. So let us write it select, sorry, SQL select log type. Okay, let me copy this so that I will be able to remember the things. Select log type, comma, database, comma, relation, comma, PID, comma, mode. Okay. Now this is where we fired that query, select customer ID from customer. Now see how many entries are added. So most of them are for this 16385. Now the PID for it is 014. Simply when you fired first query starting with select customer ID from customer, you got these many entries added there. Earlier we could see only 2. So if I go here above, this is because the query that are fired there. Fine. Now, like if I say end this transaction, now see there are 12 rows here. You can see how many rows are there? 12. So if I write end here and put semicolon, now if I fire this, I will again get 2. So 10 rows only for one select were added. Now let me add this begin first again. I added begin. So let us see how many entries are added. How many entries are added? Only one right now. Now let us not talk about for a while about what these locks are. Okay, but let us see this. One entry is added for 36014 PID. Fine. And even you can see that my prompt changes. Prompt for my transaction is added. Let me write select customer ID from customer. Let me check now entries. How many entries are there? So think of this 14. So it had two entries like 16507, 16503. What exactly they are? Let us try to see. Select OID, comma, sale name from PG class where OID in. Let us write 12290, comma 16507, comma 16503. Now see what the entries are. We used only one customer table there, correct? What is the query that we wrote? We used only one customer table. But when we fired this command, we are using like earlier command, like when I fire this case, this command, it also would be treated as one transaction. That's why its entry is added here. So this is the entry of that 12290. What is 12290? PG logs table. But when I fired select query, then ultimately I can see that because I have used customer ID as in a column. So if I fire it again, say, let me check it now one more time. Same number of entries. And we already saw what is 503 and 507. One of them is customer and one of them is for customer primary key, customer ID primary key, because we are using customer ID there. OK, now let me again quit from here. Let me write /q end instead of. OK, let me fire this again. I have two only. I'm again writing begin. I'm writing here select fname from customer. Now I know that fname is not my primary key. Correct. So I fired this query. So in this case, now I should, how many entries are earlier were there? 5. Correct. Now let us see how many entries are. Same number of entries. Same things are taken. 507 and 503. Even though you are not using customer ID there in your query, this should be surprise for us. No? We are not using any customer ID in our query. Still, it is making use of it to show the data. The reason behind it is showing you output of select fname, but actually in buffer select star from customer was fired. And the data was organized as a B tree, correct? It was organized as a B tree. That's the reason, like we do see this indexes B tree customer ID. So it searches into that BST or binary tree. Correct? The record that you were trying to find. So it searches it. It is going to return a whole thing, select star from customer. Then it will cut down according to the qualifier. OK, what you have added here. What have you added over here? It would be taken there. And then it would be searched or filtered. And then whatever the way that you see the result is shown to you like this in a formatted manner, line by line. Now, if I try to see the lock that has been applied, so in this case, so I can see that at two terminals, I have fired select query. At one terminal, I am firing select lock type and so on. Another terminal, I am writing select fname for both of them. So we know that this 12290 is my PG locks. So whenever I fire select, it is going to fire access share lock. Access share lock. And whenever you are using any other table with select query, okay, so 12290 access share lock. This was our 16503 access share lock. So as it is using customer ID as a primary key, so access share lock. This exclusive lock comes when? Okay, let us see. So and let us see the entries. Okay, now let me write only begin here. That means you are permitted to enter in the house. So you got the permission. So a virtual transaction ID was created for you. Virtual XID. It is created for you, correct? And when it is created rather, so the PID that was responsible for executing that query, its PID is added there with the lock type to be exclusive lock. Now, if you recall correctly, in operating system, you were taught inter-process communication generally, or you might have heard about inter-process communication. And the locking concept in inter-process communication was introduced only because of databases. Only because of databases. Now, these databases require that aspect because now you can see here we are having two different terminals trying to access same data element. Correct? Trying to access same data elements. Now, what happens if more than more than two customers are trying to have work with it? So let us assume that this is our server. This terminal is acting as server. So we have this terminal. So I will open one more terminal. Okay. So let me make it small for a while. Oh, sorry. Let me write here PSQL. Now, if you see, there would be one more entry added because we have started here this terminal. OK, we are having this another terminal with us. So this is one terminal, correct? This is another terminal. So at both the places we are having this. So we started three terminals, but I can see that there are only two. I haven't started any transaction. So whenever I write here begin, you will see that one entry is added here. One more entry is added here. Can you see that? When the transaction starts, it shows you that it is having exclusive lock. Now relation is not added yet. Database is not added yet because only it was created. You don't know which database would be fired. So let me fire here. Select customer ID from customer. OK, I have fired that query. So let me check here. Now you can see it is sorted 3601014. So exclusive lock was earlier. Now it is showing you these two. OK, now let me fire the same thing. Select fname from customer. Correct. So if you fire now see how many entries are added. Now as the table is used by multiple different terminals, that means for it is trying to access the data. OK, which is in a shared world because we are not updating. We are only accessing the data. That's why access share lock. Correct. Now you will see there are some numbers added there. Like 4-digit numbers. So let us try if one can get information about them. Real name, comma, OID from PG underscore class where OID in. Now let us write those numbers. 3455, 2663, 2662, 2685, 2684. Okay, 2615, 1259. Correct. These are the only, like otherwise these two are the same. Both of them are having same thing. So let us fire this. Some of them would be picked by it. Some of them would not be available. OK, we gave how many values there? Let us see. Now see which tables are used internally. 3455 is available. 2663 available. 2662 available. 2685 available. 2684 available. 2615 available, and 1259. All of them are shown there. Now see, when you simply fire select query, ultimately it is finding information about them there in all these tables. So if I ask you how many tables are accessed when you fire simple select query? So for a while, this is our answer, 7, other than your original table. Because we haven't included original table and its primary key. In this case, we haven't considered these two entries. So actually these are the two objects again. All of them are not of the type of the same type. They may be different. So one of them is relation, probably two of them are relation, others may be indexes. You can see that their name in itself communicates as the index. So it is not very easy to write a select query rather it could be easy, but how to execute that select query? Now think about this, how exactly you are going to search. Now suppose I declare that tomorrow is going to be open book test. Example. You have to use books, notebooks, but not internet, with assumption that you are sitting inside the class. Now what will you do? You will try to see the index, and according to the index, you are going to search the page number where exactly it is, and then you are going to find a topic there. Correct? Will you be knowing that at what page what topic is there? Ultimately, if you have created your own index, then it would be easy for you. And that's how the index concept came into picture, which will make your life easy to search the data. Otherwise, we have some bookmarks that generally Amazon used to send whenever you used to purchase the books. Now our bookmarks are, we tilt the page for a while, or we put something, a pen probably at that particular page, so as to remember what is where. Or maybe you can make use of some tags rather, okay, which could be used to really mark that okay, this page contains this information. Okay, so that is kind of an index that you generally create on your own. So it is very simple to write select query, but to execute, think of this where exactly it is to be searched. So first of all, let us see whether that customer table is there. How to check it? Customer table might be in the system, but is it available on the disk? Look at that address in which namespace it is stored. Find out it. Find out the exact ID of that relation. Okay, then find out the mapping between the relation and the OID. Then when you get it, then try to search there. These many steps are there for only finding the table. Then when you go with respect to the attributes. Now, whenever I fire, say select star from PG class where okay, let us see what is the ID PG class 1259. Select star from okay, we could directly use that select star from PG class where rel name like customer. So these are the entries. It doesn't contain information about your attributes. Correct? The attributes also needs to be searched. So let me see, select. Okay, let us first see what is OID of this table. OID is 16503. Fine. So select add name from PG attribute where add trail ID equal to 16503. These are your columns. But to surprise for us, we can see that there are few other columns also added. So if I write slash the customer, see how many columns are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8, correct? But when I fired this, select at name from PG attribute where at rail ID is this, I can see that there are 14. Earlier 8, so 6 were added internally by it. Correct. So if I see as the table was created with OID comma star from customer. Okay, yeah, so it may not display. So when I say select star from customer, I would be having information about each of the row. So what if I do talk about CTID? This tuple ID 0, 1, 0, 2. We addressed it earlier too. Okay, in initial classes rather. Fine. So there might be some internal representation added. So whenever you create a structure, whenever you give a structure definition, it doesn't mean that your structure is ending there. Structure may have few internal representations or internal columns too, which are added there. Okay, Cmax, Cmin, CTID, Xmax, Xmin. These are the 5 and OID is one more. 6, correct? So 1, 2, correct. CTID, Cmax, Cmin, 3, and then 5, and then table OID, which is added there. So additional information is always kept. Now you must have seen like when generally we get recruited by any organization, they do ask us, okay, what were marks in your what were the marks that you earned rather in 10th, 12th, then your BSc, MSc, MCA, whatever. But then sometimes you always think, why you are asking me 10th marks? But they do keep that information. Even they will ask you, okay, let us know your birth date. So do we ask them, okay, are you going to send me one birthday gift every year? But we have to give that everywhere. Like even bank is asking. So bank only sends you the message sometimes, happy birthday. But they do keep they do take some additional data from you, which may be sometimes hidden, which may be sometimes added. Now Google always takes or tracks you wherever you are moving. Correct. Now you generally say, okay, if I lock, if I don't open my location, if I lock my location, then Google may not be for Google. It may not be very easy for tracking me as an individual. But see, I am one of the important person on the earth. Like everybody thinks that way because Google is monitoring my activities. So for Google, I am the person. Correct. And same thing applicable for you too. Every activity is monitored. What you are doing, what ID you are using, everything would be captured, which is like under terms and conditions. Same thing. So whenever you are using some table or whenever you are using some database, there will be some internals applied, internal terms and conditions applied, which may not be visible to you, but we are going to manage it. Yes. And they would be kind of management parameters, which would be added there. Okay, so then what are the different attribute types then? Like if at all, not attribute type, but what are the different types of logs then? If at all I have to see them. Okay, so let us come out of them. So we saw that /q. Let us start again. PSQL. So if I fire now this again, I should see these 2 plus 2, 4 entries. But right now I am seeing only 2 because I haven't started any transaction here. So unless I start the transaction, entry would not be added. So I added 1. Let us see. I got 3. Let me add 1. I would be getting 4. Correct? Now let us try to see. Okay, let us fire, select. Let us see. Okay, let us see here. Slash D. Yeah, we have the value. Okay, let us type it here. So here I am writing select star from X34. Correct? Now here I'm updating. Update. Okay, let us see the elements first. How many entries are added? So many, like same entries are added there for our select. Now they are because there is no primary key defined right now. We can see that this was the table ID number and they are the internal ones which we earlier saw in the earlier example. Okay, so update X34. Okay, let me see that query for a while here. Yeah. So update X34, set A equal to 624, where A equal to 312. Sorry, it is text type I assume. Okay, I made a mistake. So if I see now entries, okay, sorry, if I see my entries are only 2. Correct? So this is for see the PID. This is one PID, this is other PID. So this is gone. My transaction is gone. You can see that now the prompt also changed. This would not be taken into consideration. Correct. So let me write here end. Okay, now you can see it automatically adds roll back there because we made a change. So begin. Now see. So let us say you can see one more entry added for 4-5, which was not there earlier. Fine. So select star from X34. So it is a text type, correct? So update X34 5D, set A equal to 614, where A equal to 312. We updated it, correct? So let us see. Oh, it is not updated. Okay, but let us try to see the table. So we can see that the table ID is 41371. So let me fire this. How many times 41371 is occurring? 2. Correct? 41371, 41371. Now it is getting row exclusive lock. Even if I fire from here, like on this terminal command, like this, I cannot see that it is modified. Can you see that it is modified or not? Is it modified? So it doesn't happen with our bank rather, correct? Now suppose these are two ATM. This is my first ATM machine. This is my second ATM machine. I have two cards for one account. Correct? Generally, you must have seen there are two cards. Credit cards at least are available too. Suppose I do take two cards for same account because it is a joint account. Now suppose I'm requesting for withdraw. And I do see, okay, I do see what is the balance. I can see, okay, 312, for example. So the person is trying to add 614 or to make it 614, or let us say he wants to withdraw 300. Now balance should be 12, but now I also give 150 as withdraw command. What should happen? Actually, 300 plus 150 should be withdrawn, but it never permits that because of this. Until and unless it is saved, nothing would be done. So if I write here commit, let me fire it here. Now my command, my data is changed. So if I find the total commands here, The other entries are deleted because it is committed. Transaction is ended automatically. You can see the prompt even changed. So star hash. Now prompt is again equal to hash, which is not a transaction. Okay, so that means now update would be having this entry. Okay, let me again begin. Now let us see this. Okay, now we added begin. That's why 364,645 is added. Let me write insert into x34 values. So I inserted one value. Let us see the type. Now we have to concentrate on 36645 and 41371. Both the one. So see this. Pro exclusive lock. Same thing as what I had earlier. For update and insert, it looks same. Actually, if you see, update and insert is same. Only thing what happens is whenever you update it, first entry is deleted, new entry is added. You can see that earlier 312 was first entry here, correct? Now when you updated it, 312 became 614. And it is now treated as next another row. So what about 312 then? Is it available there? We don't know. Right now it is definitely not because we saved it earlier. We committed it. That's why. So insert and update, like they are same. Insert itself is one kind of update. Update the table by this entry. But only like for the sake of understanding, these two are created as different two operations. But at machine level, rather at database level, both of them are treated with same mode. Okay, let us try to delete. Delete from x34 where a equal to SDFG. It says deleted. If I fire command here, I can see that two entries are added still the way that I saw. Let me check it now. Now you can see what happened there. One more is added, which was not earlier. Transaction ID 36645. Correct. And same number of entries like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like one. See this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Same entries are there. But even my lock type is row exclusive. Exclusive for begin. Select would be access. Then you may say, okay, we haven't selected anything from 3455 or 2663. Then why it is showing that? Actually, when you fired either of these command, whenever you fire either of these command, which is for retrieval or updation, data definition, data manipulation, data. What was the third one? DML, DDL. In databases, you must have heard. No? What was the third? Or do you have only these two? Data definition and data manipulation. Do you have any other one? Devesh?
There is one DCL or something. No, TCL, sorry, transaction control block.
No, but that is different thing. I'm talking about now that SQL point of view. Types of statement.
DDL and DML.
Data so it is like a data manipulation only, no? Insertion, deletion. Correct. Even update. So all of them are taking this. So let me write here rollback. Instead of save. If I see those entries are gone, but it is because of the select. These entries are there 36642. The transaction for 45 entries are deleted. Handling transaction is not easy. Like see how many things that you have to take care of. Like when your transaction fails, either problem is because of the connectivity or because of some mismatch happening. Now bank shows us like when you enter a pin, it doesn't tell you like your pin is wrong. It continues and then towards like when it reaches to withdrawal, then it comes in, okay, you entered wrong pin. So that is a program. Actually, it is not getting executed at the machine level. It is only a UI, user interface provided to you through which you are trying to access it. Correct. So there are different kinds of locks that are applicable. Like we can see here 3 types in front of us right now. Only 2 are there, but we saw row exclusive also. Correct. So note down like the types that I'm telling you. You can try this at home, probably other locks. So first is access share lock. Access share lock is mostly for select. Okay. Now let me try one more thing here. So let me write begin. Let me write end and begin to make fresh stuff. We have 3 entries, correct? So select star from X3. Update X34 set A equal to 123 where A equal to 614. Correct? Okay, let us see this. Update X34 set A equal to 200 where A equal to, because both of them are same value there towards their end. Okay, semicolon. Now it is not responding because let us see here. Sorry, it is not responding here, correct? It is waiting for something. So if I go here and if I fire this, you can see there is row exclusive lock, row exclusive lock, exclusive lock. Now for transaction, it fired a share lock at 4.2. This 4.2 was added because you are returning, you are talking about a request which is not fulfilled yet because it is trying to access something which is shared. Correct. So row exclusive lock would be always for mostly update, insert, delete. Now this share lock would be added whenever you are selecting for update. Correct. Or you are trying to create an index. And there even you will see another type of lock sometimes depending upon what query you fire. Called share row exclusive lock. So there are rather 7 types: access exclusive, exclusive, share row exclusive, share lock, row exclusive, row share lock, and access share lock. 7 different things. Now we can see only if you try to find out this. So let me write here. Distinct mode. I can see 4 types are used internally now by the system. I do have 3 more. But then like what should happen here? Until and unless this system releases that lock, this manipulation would not be done. So what should I do now? So if I say commit, now suddenly when I press enter, try to concentrate on this second terminal. Fine. Can you see update 0? Why? Because if I fire this data now, the data was modified. That's the reason it could not locate this 614. That's why it is saying update 0. Let us try one more time. Begin. Okay. /q psql begin. Fine. If you see now we have 2 records, correct? 1, 2, 3. We have 4 entries, correct? Let us write update x 34 set a equal to asdfg where a equal to 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Now here I am saying update x34 set a equal to pqrs where a equal to 1, 2, 3. Now we know that it is waiting. Now if I write rollback, now suddenly you will see update 1. Correct? Because the lock was released from that side. That's why suddenly the other system was permitted to access it. Now you can imagine now how exactly Amazon might be working with that product. So 15 minutes it is reserving for you. After 15 minutes, your lock would be released and that item would be allocated to the one who is on waiting queue. Are you with me? By the way, I hope you are understanding. Any question, by the way? Yes. Any question? Durga?
No, sir.
Okay, so I am assuming you are with me. Fine, all others as well. Okay, so now we saw like, okay, there are access permissions given. Mode are also like activated depending upon what kind of lock should be applied on the properly shared individual object. Fine. So let us try to make the big change now. So let me /q. Let me show you now deadlock, how it works. Okay, so PSQL create table stu roll number integer name varchar. Okay, sorry. Okay, let us say these are the 2 entries that are available with us. Fine. So if I fire select star from STU. Fine. Okay, so let me fire that command here. So I'm not going to check now that access lock thing, correct? I'm only going to fire this. Now I'm creating a situation here by creating a transaction. So here I am saying, okay, let me start here also. SQL. Update stu set mobile is equal to 9874523 678, where mobile is equal to 9874323451. Correct? So one query fired. Fine. Now I'm updating here. I hope I started. No. Okay. Begin. Paste. Oh, sorry. We should have started here. Okay. So we'll write it here. Select star from STU. Update 7874348 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Now number 8874328453. Correct? Okay, good. Now what I'm doing is I'm firing same command. Now here, instead, now I'm making it as 68. Now we know that it is used here and it manipulated other record. Now I'm firing from here because it doesn't know whether it is manipulated. This was manipulated here. This transaction knows that this value got manipulated, but this transaction doesn't have any idea that the transaction, the value got changed. Is it waiting? Can you see that? Is it waiting? Yes. I'm only saying yes. Okay. Now see what happened. I fired the command instantly. I can see that it says deadlock detected. Because it was waiting for your share lock, which was blocked. And again, you are trying to access from the other terminal, same record as you haven't released earlier lock. So how can I permit that access? What I did was I copied this and I pasted it there only directly. So it gave me an error, deadlock detected. And it tells me while updating tuple 0,2 in relation STU. So let me see what is the tuple ID. Select CTID, comma, star from STU. Where is that 0,2 then? 101, 102, one value got updated. Correct? One value got updated here because it is big. I'm trying to see it from here. That's why. Other record is having 5. So ultimately, how many changes happened? Earlier 2, Then 3, 4 was done. 3 also was got manipulated, and that's why it gave an error. Actually, if you see on that data, there is no change. The original data was intact, but this this system assumes the modification was done. If I write CTID here, zero comma 2, but here it is showing us 0,5, 0,4. If I try to see that here, select CTID comma star from STU. Though we already saw deadlock occurred, that's why it aborted that transaction directly. Okay, what kind of situation I created here? Among the conditions, what are the conditions of deadlock? What were the necessary conditions of deadlock? Pratiksha?
Circular weight,
Yeah,
mutual
okay.
exclusion.
Circular weight, mutual exclusion.
And one more is there, I can't remember it.
Hold and
No
wait.
preemption. No preemption.
No preemption, hold and wait. Correct? Hold and wait, no preemption, circular weight and mutual exclusion. So which among 4, which was this? You try to identify. So if you say that this is one of them, then how can we create other 3 situations? You understood this? Deadlock detected. Okay, let us do one thing. So let me say /q begin. Sorry, PSQL. I also let me quit from here to PSQL. I have 3 terminals now used. Now do the same thing on 3 terminals. I have 3 records. Modify first year, modify second year, modify third year. Now again, modify second, modify third, modify first. Have a kind of stuff. And try to generate on your side. And show me like you can add that photo on your like in WhatsApp group if you tried it right away. Try it for 3 terminals on your laptop.
To do so would be the backyard. So remember, she's coming over here. She's not coming over here for a job interview. She's coming over here literally to just get to know Ant in person. Because as of now,
बाप रे, असद बहुत अच्छा इंग्लिश बोलने लग गया. असद.
Yes sir.
हाँ, बहुत ज्यादा इंग्लिश आ गया तेरी साइड से.
नहीं सर, वो दूसरे मोबाइल में चल रहा है फैन का.
Okay, so now can you do this? Can you create this scenario? I want that scenario to be created for 3 terminals. Create it and send it instantly on WhatsApp whenever you get it. Fine. Try it on your side. I'm hoping that you are trying on your side. By the way, I'm stopping this recording.